What's up, everybody? So today we are playing the H-Town Special, $600, 300K guaranteed. And I have been taking a lot of Ubers over to Prime Social to play these tournaments. And I had an idea the other day that, hey, maybe we'll do something fun for these Uber drivers and give them an opportunity to make some extra money. And what I'm gonna do is it's gonna be basic knowledge poker questions. There are going to be 5 questions, and for every question they get correct, they pick up 20 bucks. So let's see how this goes. All right, everybody, so we are on our way to Prime Social today to play the $600 300K. And Anthony, my Uber driver right here, has agreed to play our poker trivia game. All right, so let's go. All right, Anthony. So your first question for 20 bucks is, how many cards are in a standard playing card deck? Final answer? 54, that is incorrect. 52. 52. Yep, definitely close. All right, your second question, Anthony, is this. What are the suits in the deck? What are the 4 suits?
Club, spade, heart.
Yes. Cool, so that's 20. That is correct. Nice. All right, the next question, Anthony, is which is a better hand to have? A flush or a full house?
The answer starts with an F.
The answer starts with an F, yeah.
Okay, let's say flush.
Anthony's answer is flush, and that is incorrect. It is a full house. All right, your next question, Anthony, is this. What does WSOP stand for? This is televised on TV, on national TV, ESPN.
WSOP.
WSOP.
World Series of Poker.
Yes! Yes, all right. So Anthony has gotten 2 correct so far, and we're down to the final question. All right, so the final question is this, Anthony.
Right.
A well-known poker pro famously said, "I can dodge bullets, baby." Multiple choice, all right? Was it A, Johnny Chan, B, Phil Hellmuth, or C, Daniel Negreanu? I can dodge bullets, baby.
I will go for C.
C, Daniel Negreanu?
Yes.
And C is incorrect. It was B, Phil Hellmuth.
That was gonna be my last one.
All right, so you got 2 correct for 40 bucks.
Awesome.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for the ride, man, and thanks for playing.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cheers, bro. All right, Anthony, so thanks for playing the game. Here is your 40 bucks for getting the 2 questions correct. Cheers, brother. And here's my card, too, if you want to check out the stream and my socials and stuff.
It's a nice car, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Wow.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Cheers, bro. See you later.
Thanks.
All right. All right, so the first notable hand that we have here is Ace-6 offsuit. It was a pretty soft table, I thought, so I definitely wanted to open up my range a bit. I mean, we are in the cutoff, so this isn't even really that wide of an open. But we did raise over an early position limp here, who makes the call. So we go heads up to the flop. And the flop comes 4-6-3. So we're feeling pretty good about this flop here. We have top pair, backdoor diamonds, versus a opponent who has just limp called pre. So they could have some like Miss Broadways. They could have some small pairs and some suited connectors that are around this board as well. But I am going to continue to tell my story here, not just let any of those draws come in for cheap. So we bet the flop here for about 3,300. We get a fairly quick call from the opponent. And then the turn comes a 6, which is amazing. This is, you know, like the best card we could see here. Unless they have like pocket 3s or 4s, then that kind of sucks. But yeah, we're really not going to be getting away from this situation. We're feeling pretty good about it. So we double check our 6. They have already checked to us. The question is, what do we bet here? Definitely not checking. So I think for a second, and I eventually land on 8,000. Now that leaves me 13K behind, and the pot is about 20K. So if they were to call, there would be 28K in the middle, and we have a little bit less than a half pot shove. But to our surprise, the opponent here check raises to 21K and puts me all in. Now I only bet 8K on the flop, so you know I actually still have 13 behind. They put in the 21, which is my reigning 11 there. We make the call. They seem pretty excited about it. They flip over their 8s, and they were not happy, as you can see here. I wouldn't be happy either, but yes, we pick up a very nice hand here up to 54-6. And then the next notable hand that we have here is pocket jacks. We had raised, and then we were 3-bet by the button here. We picked up this hand a little bit late. And then now actually the player that we just won that big pot was all in the big blind here. One big blind alone. And we get 3-bet. I just decided to call here. The player that had 3-bet the button was not being that aggressive, so I just decided to take it to the streets here. And with the one player all in, short stacked, the dealer counts out to the main pot and the side pot, and then we are going to see a flop. The flop comes out king high with a 9 and a 6, 2 spades for a flush draw. So I'm going to be courteous here and check to the pre-flop aggressor. They take a second, and they bet here 2,500 into an 8K pot. Definitely an easy amount for us to call. We know we're not folding here, not raising either. So we just carve out the call. Say, let's get it. And so now we have a side pot building here, hoping for a good turn. Spade would be doo-doo, but it is a 3. So pretty much a nothing card. At this point, we're just going to continue checking, see how the button continues to react. They could definitely still have the top of their range, aces, ace, king, set of kings with the flop c-bet. But when they check, we feel super confident about our hand at this point. And I probably should be thinking about betting here, given the fact that they checked again. But we did end up checking. They checked as well. And the button tables, pocket 7, so we win the side pot. But the short stack, who was all in, had king, queen, king, jack, I believe it was. And they take the side pot. And then this is a cool moment. We ran into Max Young, who ended up playing heads up for the Platinum Pass.
Cheers, man. Good luck.
So we had to say what's up to Max. What up, Max? All right, and then here we look down at pocket aces on the button. 2 red aces. So pretty. And there is an open here in this hand in middle position to 1,500. So it gets to us on the button. Pretty easy here. We definitely have to raise it up. Question is how much. I go 4,500 or 4,400 here on the button. And now at this point, everyone is fairly deep. It's still relatively early, 300, 600. And the big blind in this hand is thinking, and then they jam all in for, I think it was, 31K. Yeah, they're all in for 31K here. And then the middle position player who initially raised thought for a second and then eventually folded, and obviously we are more than happy to flip over our aces and then see the ace king. So we are a big favorite. 2 queens on the flop. We need runner to lose, and there's one of them. But the river is a king, and we do not lose. So early on in this tournament, we won some nice pots, picked up some big hands. So that is an incredible feeling. And in this hand here, we have King Deuce of Hearts. And again, I thought this was a table that I could open up my range a bit. I think this is a little bit loose. But I raise in the middle position here to 2,000 at the 4,800 level. And the player that we've had a couple of confrontations with already up to this point calls in the small blind. At this point, actually they had spun up from the short stack, so they didn't even have to rebuy, so they're on the up and up right now. Chip in a chair seems fitting for this player's spin up. So they call us in the small blind, and we're going to go to a flop here. And the flop is 9-3-4 with 2 hearts. They very quickly check, and I'm excited about this flop. We have a backdoor straight draw, immediate flush draw. I'm going to bet. I go with a little under a third pot, about a fourth pot here, about 1,500. With intentions of betting a bit bigger on most turns. They call pretty quickly. And then we go to the turn, which is a queen of hearts. All right, 6. So we got there. There's 8,600 in the middle. We're pretty deep stacked, and we do cover this opponent. They look down at their cards. Check. I look down at my cards. I'm like, what up with the hearts? And now, what do we bet is the question. I don't think there's any reason to get tricky and check here. We're fairly deep stacked, so we need to continue to put chips into the middle. Maybe if we're shorter stacked, we can check, but this isn't one of those spots. So we land on 5,500. A little over half the size of the pot. And our opponent here goes with the check raise. It definitely looks really strong. But instinctually here, I am calling as a default to keep their bluffs in when they do have those.
How much is it?
17.5.
And they make it 17-5 here. And we think for a second, we can't snap call. We do need to think and kind of hope that our opponent decides that with our thinking that we are weak. In the event they do have bluffs, we want them to continue. 2 pairs can check on this turn, so we're ahead of a lot, only concerned about the ace-high flush. And then the river bricks out a king, which is great, because a lot of the times another heart will come and kill your action, but this is great. So just a king of diamonds on the river, and the small blind in this hand has the lead. They bet out 15K, with maybe 20-some K behind. And now at this point, I definitely don't want them to fold. I am going to be jamming. We just have to think about how we're going to go about it. And this was something that I actually noticed from another player here, as far as it was a really good player. Like, they're counting out their chips, taking their time to think. And I actually learned a lot during this trip about a couple of live tells, reads, or ways to go about things. But anyway, we have the 15K in our hand, and then we grab another stack here to put the small blind all in. I think ultimately it's a little over 40K for us to put them all in, so we do that. They don't think too long before putting it all in, and then they see the bad news, and when they don't immediately flip your hand, you know you're good. They had Jack 8 of hearts here. And they're like, so sick. And yeah, kind of is, man. I was definitely getting the better of this player in this tournament today. So that gives us a big stack. We got over 120K at this point going into the break. All right, we're on second break here in the H-Town 300K. And we just won a couple of big hands there right before the break. We had King Deuce of Hearts hand, which was massive, flush over flush. Got paid off max value on the river. And then we had a king jack hand right before break, three-way. And yeah, we have like over 150K coming back to, I believe, the 1K big blind level. So things are going really good for us now. And man, it is beautiful out here today in Houston. And we're inside playing poker, so we'll keep you posted. Great start to this tournament. Let's hope we continue. And fresh back from the break, not too long. We have 166K at this point. It folds to us in the cutoff. We have some passive players behind us, so we decided to raise this up to 3,500 at the 1,600 level.
Calls for 3,500.
The button here, the very nice Miss Lynn, decides to call, and then both of the blinds will fold. So we are going heads up to the flop. Myself versus Miss Lynn. We are at a position here with a pretty bad hand, but I plan to just continue on a lot of flops, anticipating a lot of folds. I don't think I have to bet big here to get folds, especially if there are some small pairs that she's holding. So I bet 3,000 into the 11,000 pot. She calls pretty quickly, which is not great news for us. And she was kind of hard to read. She was getting a little tricky at times, so I wasn't really sure what to think of it. But I knew that we could not be doing good. We do pick up a gut shot on this turn. Flush comes in. She very quickly checks after we check. Kind of just looking for, oh, there she is, a queen on the river. So that's great. Now we have the nut straight. I don't know that she's checking a flush on the turn, but I do think that they could be getting trappy. And then, after I bet 10K, she very quickly makes it 25K, which has me concerned. But the bet's not big enough. I've got too many chips and the nut straight, so I'm not folding. We throw in the call, and she pretty confidently flips her ace-9 for a lower straight than ours. And when I saw it, I was actually kind of surprised that she raised with the flush, but she probably thought I was playing a bit wider and that her straight could be good. She didn't raise too big. She could have got called by two pair, so I dig it. We were on the fortunate end of this one. So the run good continues here. We now have over 200K chips after this hand, and we have hit the color up break, so feeling pretty good about our situation. All right, we're on the third break of this 300K guaranteed. We have like a little over 200K coming back to the 1K, 2K big blind level. So things have been going good. We've been making some hands. We have a nice table, and yeah, can't complain. Some interesting table dynamics. People coming in, making some moves, new players, and there's been a lot of shuffling, but we've been able to kind of just like maintain throughout. And yeah, we're in a pretty good spot here. So we'll just keep grinding. We'll keep you posted. And yeah, that's it. And then when we come back from break, we actually end up getting a table change. So we're gonna feel out some new players, including this one here, Wes Cutshaw. One of our buddies gets moved to our table. So you know things are gonna get spicy. Not too long after Wes comes to the table, he's opening an early position here to 6,000. I'm on the button and I look down at pocket eights. And I think we can mix here between raising and calling. But versus Wes, who I think is very aggressive capable, I'm just going to call on the button. So I throw in the 6,000 at the 1.53K level. The small blind comes along as well. And the big blind here throws in the call. So we go four ways to the flop here. I have just under 200K, 70 bigs or so. And we flop a set of eights. Top set of eights, I'm like, yes, this is amazing. But there's a flush draw and a straight draw on the board. Everybody checks to me. I'm for sure going to bet. I decide on 10K into the 27K pot. Small blind here looks a couple times like they wanted to grab some chips and call. Eventually, though, they take a look back and they do toss in the call here. The big blind turbo mucks. And then it's back on Wes here, the initial raiser. And he makes the call as well. So we got 57K in the middle. We are going to the turn, and it's a stupid heart. Always a stupid heart. So now ace-5 got there if somebody had ace-5 suited, 5-6 suited. Hearts, which there could be a variety of hands that have hearts there. Wes could definitely have hearts as well. And they check to me pretty quickly. And I decide to check and pot control. I didn't want to bet, get raised, in this spot, and I knew that if I checked, it would make my hand look weak. I could bomb some rivers, but it's another freaking heart on the river, man. It's so stupid. Small blind checks, and then West decides to bet out here 23K with 4 hearts on the board and 2 other people in his hand. And I'm like, wow, this is just straight doo-doo. This sucks. I don't know how many times I've been in situations like this in these vlogs at this point. Set with a 4 to a flush on the board, but we decided to fold here because I thought West's bet was pretty strong. Small blind doesn't take too long at all for carving out and calling. Small blind had 5-6 for the straight, and West just had ace-king. No hearts, nothing, just ace-king high here. And yeah, so we lose that pot. And then we move on here to the queen 10 of diamonds. We actually have a friend of the stream sitting to our right in this hand, and he's on the button. Cutoff opens to 7K at the 3K level, and then button calls 7K, and then we are in the small blind here with queen 10 of diamonds and 163K. So I thought for a minute, I think we can call, but I do think this is a hand that we can also re-raise and squeeze with at this stack depth. So I opted for the aggressive line, and we raised it up to 28K. The big blind folds pretty quickly. And then the initial raiser in the cutoff, who was not playing overly aggressive or anything, takes their time. Seemed like they knew what was going on. But I think my squeeze could look aggressive. You know, depends on how they view my image. I didn't make it too big either. I did make it about 4x, a little over 4x here, but there is also a call behind. The initial raiser decides to call, and then the button folds. So we're going heads up to the flop here with our queen 10 of diamonds, 69K in the middle, 136 behind. And the flop comes 7 king deuce. Now I don't think there's too much value in checking here, even though we pretty much just bricked this, no backdoor diamonds. There's a backdoor straight that we could hit. But I'm just going to continue to tell the story. I don't see too much value in just checking here. So we go with about a third of the pot. We bet 22K here. We're really hoping for a fold at this point. We got 91K now in the middle. We have 114 behind. And we're getting relatively deep in this tournament. So I believe 18 players are getting paid, and then 14 make day 2. We're getting close to the money, so things are getting sweaty. We do take it down here, and that makes us very happy. Back up over 200K. And things are heating up. Like I said, we're getting very, very close to the bubble. All right, everybody. We have made it to the 4th break, I think it is today. It's been a long day. I'm starting to get a little bit tired. We're like 8 hours in or so, and we're down to the 5K coming back to the 6K big blind level. I have like 120K-ish in chips. Kind of a tough table. We've got a splashy player with a big stack, the guy from earlier, who is having fun. He actually, I think I'm actually learning some stuff from this dude. Some of the like live things he's doing and seeing how he's kind of accumulating chips. So it's pretty interesting. It was a nice day here. You can see now it's kind of getting a little bit darker, and you know, nighttime is upon us. But yeah, there's like 23 people left, 18 get paid, and then 14 will make it to day 2. So yeah, we're being patient, having to fold a lot of hands, not really getting much, and yeah, just hoping to get some good spots here. So we'll keep you posted. Not too much to really say. We've been just doing a ton of folding. And loud truck. That's a diesel. All right, so that's it. We're gonna go inside. We're gonna go to the bathroom, get some water, and get back at it. So yeah, as you heard, we're already 8 hours in at this point, approaching the money bubble. Right now it is the 3K, 6K blind level. We're on the button with 84K, less than 15 bigs, ace 4 of hearts. I think I could jam here, but I decided to raise to 13K. I would be raised folding here. I think online I'm mostly jamming, but I think in live poker we can get a little jiggy with it sometimes and make some short stack raises, preserve our tournament life. And not everybody can tell or is even looking at how many chips you have, so I think it gives us a little bit more room to raise off some of these short stacks. Big blind defends, and then it is on us. We have a backdoor heart draw, ace high, and a backdoor straight draw. And I didn't want to over c-bet. Our ace high could be good. I hate checking and then getting led into, but that's more of an online thing. I don't think live players, again, are really paying attention to all the details as much. So we decided to check here, and we pick up a heart draw. King is a good card for us to bluff as well. We would be checking back some King X hands on this board that we raised button with. Big blind checks, and at this point, I would hate to get check raised when I bet here, but I still did bet, trying to get some smaller pairs to fold that they could be holding, maybe even an ace 9, you know, some better ace X. So thankfully, man, thankfully we get a fold here. We needed that pot. It was massive at this point. It's super sweaty. And then we look down at the Queen Jack of Clubs. Super pretty, because up to this point we were super card dead and having to nurse a short stack. 3K, 6K level, we got 78K, and we're in middle position. Decide to just stick it all in. In this spot, the big blind was very, very splashy. I did not want to do any cheeky short stack raising versus this player because they were for sure defending, and they were difficult to play post flop. They were in one of our earlier Prime Social vlogs, and they're very chatty, tilty people and whatnot. So yeah, this is not the player I wanted to do any of that stuff with. And surprisingly, holy crap, around the bubble they fold ace deuce of spades here versus me. Like, I couldn't believe it. They have like 400k here. It was insane, but I was so lucky. We are on the exact money bubble at that point, so for them to fold was amazing. And then here now we go all in the small blind. 19 left, 18 paid versus another short stack. We have queen 10 off. I thought it was an amazing spot where they even have to fold some of their ace highs, king highs, small pairs to my jam. And this friggin' guy wakes up with ace king to call me off here, which, you know, obviously they got to do it with ace king, but it was such a good spot. Really cool dude. We were super friendly, conversational, and like good energy and stuff. So if I were to lose to somebody, I wouldn't mind this guy, you know what I mean? It'd be a little bit more painful if it was the other guy who folded ace deuce of spades, but I was like, dude, man, anyway, you know, we just got to hit now, you know? I hit here before. I can hit here. And we take a second here. We're counting chips. I'm not sure why the dealer wanted the chips counted or anything. We're blind versus blind. We should have just, like, turned over the flop, like, run it. We'll figure it out later. But for some reason, we're, like, matching stacks here. We are hand for hand, so it's not like we were, you know, trying to wait to push the bubble or anything like that. But, yeah, 18 paid, 19 left for it all right here. 190K, which would, in my opinion, definitely have us making it to day 2. But we gotta run good here with 5 cards. King on the flop is straight doo-doo. Jack on the turn is nice. But then another jack on the river, and we are out of here. Hey, we've got great news. I just bubbled that tournament. Busted a 19th. It folded to the small blind, which you've seen at this point. I don't even know why I'm telling you. With queen 10. Jam versus another short stack, and they have ace king, and they hold. I did turn in open-ended in the hand, so I was thankful for that. But, yeah, that's tough, man. What a pain. But it just, like, is what it is, dude, you know? And I'm sitting here thinking, like, since it's another short stack, could I have, like, raised folded, you know? But then I was like, the other side of me was like, man, I jammed there. They might even fold 5s, 4s, 3s, ace X, some king X, and everything. So I know there's, like, maybe some ninja stuff some people might do from, like, 10 bigs there, blind versus another shorty on the exact money bubble. But the jam is fine, right? I mean, like I just said, but, you know, in these moments when you bust out, it's like, dang, man, could I have done something just slightly different? You know, like $800 bubble, but I don't feel bad about it. It is what it is. I mean, I'm just used to this pain. You play so many tournaments, and yeah, it's just is what it is. You know, on to the next one. That was our first bullet. We're gonna fire another bullet on Saturday, so hopefully that goes better. But yeah, I gotta get out of here. I need some food. I haven't eaten all day. Is what it is. Whatever, tournament poker, we choose this pain, so when it comes, we have to accept it like men and women and move on, right? I'll see you later. Thanks for watching this vlog. Bye. Hey everybody, thanks for making it to the end of my video. No one does that, do they? All right, look, I respond to comments, so please leave a comment below the description and let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, check out some of my last videos here. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button here. All right, my name is Drew. Peace out. Catch up with you later.